Insanely great news as we start the afternoon. The tides have turned, the purple power has ramped up, and the Temple of Doom is caving in. Oh yes. Not considered in the equation was the thought that perhaps the Democrats could lose the House. So in a last-ditch effort, and amidst a big statement from the Blue Dogs to the purple power, Nancy Pelosi is trying to save the deal and give us what we want. This is LALATE Afternoons. Oh my God, everybody. This is LALATE, and boy, you can see the reaction on my face. I am just shocked and delighted, but I'm not overly confident yet. So let's see what happens. This is Afternoons LALATE with really shockingly great news on a twisted change of events that I did not even predict coming. There's a lot happening this afternoon. This is Afternoons LALATE that starts every day at 3:30, and in this video, I'm going to go over a series of breaking details minutes ago. First, the chief press agent for the Blue Dogs reached out to a member of the Purple Power family and says, here's our latest press release, and we support the problem solvers. Oh boy, yes. Second, amid that and amid your pressure, Nancy Pelosi did not do what that one report said yesterday she was going to do, that she was going to end negotiations last night, call it for a vote, and say it's done. Oh no, the pressure for the purple has worked. So she's had no more than a half dozen conversations with Mnuchin just this morning, is continuing to do the negotiations, and believes they will get done tomorrow morning amidst some changes to a horrible bill debuted last night. The pressure's heating up. This is amid new reports from this channel that the Democrats are worried that their position has fallen apart, that they won't get bipartisan support, of course, for this bill, and they may not even get Democratic support because of the purple power. Third, Jim Cramer from CNBC splashed the situation and says, this is a bunch of silliness, get it done. Finally, there is new data coming up this afternoon, and boy, I'm going to be getting into it. Also, I'll be answering some of your incredible questions. So much breaking news today. If you've not subscribed, this is the best damn video you're going to see this afternoon. Oh my goodness. Go to the Vantage channel, subscribe, because I am here with heart and soul with you morning, noon, and night. And you could see my facial reaction last night. I saw it in your comments. Some people said, boy, I've never seen you so angry. Yeah, I was really angry. I was very angry. Also like this video because I put in every effort and breath and emotion to get you what you need, because you deserve it. You really, really deserve it. And I think you would agree. All right, let's get to the incredible breaking news minutes ago. First, the Blue Dogs come out in favor of the problem solvers in a statement release to the Purple Power family. Oh my goodness. A viewer of the Purple Power family took it upon themselves to do what they're supposed to do. Use their knowledge, be positive, but push the envelope. And so that person reached out to the Blue Dog Democrats. These, of course, are Democrats in the House. These, of course, are Democrats who had written Nancy Pelosi and said, we do not support what you're doing. You need to do a bipartisan bill with nearly tailored with second stimulus checks with FPUC. Get it done. Well, guess what? The chief public relations officer for the Blue Dogs responded to the Purple Power family member and said, here's our latest press statement. And the press statement, which is a public press statement, but not a particularly narrowly tailored one for this viewer, but the press statement says we support the problem solvers. Following an August 21st letter by the Blue Dogs to Nancy Pelosi, the Blue Dogs endorsed the, quote, March to a Common Ground framework, which was developed by members of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus in order to help the gridlock on a fifth COVID-19 relief package, and included several bipartisan priorities backed by the Blue Dogs. This is incredibly great news because the Blue Dog Coalition was the first House Democratic caucus to call on the House and Senate leadership to restart bipartisan negotiations on the COVID relief in their August 21st letter. The Blue Dogs consistently called for FPUC, jobs, state and local, new round of stimulus checks, stronger oversight of pandemic spending. This was the statement. So as we sit here on a Tuesday afternoon, the Blue Dogs have made it very clear in a statement released publicly in the last 24 hours and released to a Purple Power family member who reached out to them. We're unchanged. We're supporting the problem solvers. Guess what that says to the Temple of Doom? It doesn't say, I'm supporting your bill. It says, I'm supporting the problem solvers. Absolutely, categorically incredible. This is all the effort of you. You absolutely deserve it. You've done incredible efforts, and we're not done. We're not at the finish line yet. We're not over the finish line yet, but you really deserve it. I mean, this has absolutely been an incredible family, an incredible ride. Here's what Jim Cramer from CNBC said this morning. Now, understand, Jim Cramer is a money guy. He also decided to buy or open or buy into some restaurants in New York several years ago. He's a close friend of Steve Mnuchin. He goes to lunch all the time with Steve Mnuchin. He slammed Nancy Pelosi and his buddy Steve this morning. He says they hated each other and they blew it. He said they're absolutely for fault for not getting the stimulus package done by now. This was a statement on the morning news before the stuff I'm about to tell you. So let me sort of cover for Jim and his remarks. He's a little bit animated, a little bit more than me. They blew it. And they could talk all they want, but they blew it, said Jim Cramer, who owns 2 restaurants and Inn. They hated each other and they blew it. That was another sentence. It was not the first one. He's just saying it again, in case you didn't get it the first time. They had a chance. Neither party agreed to anything. It's too late. Nobody gave any PPP to restaurants. They didn't care about us. I'm going to be candid. I ran out of PPP 3 months ago. Well, I ran out of it. It was nice. I did my best. That he talks about the situation, which I think Captain Obvious would say the same thing. It's cold outside. The outside isn't working for restaurants. It's raining. Department of Transportation says you can't sit there. Then you have the police saying you can't sit there. I'm done with this. I've given up. Okay, thank you, Jim. He's clearly not the Purple Power family, but he certainly expresses the angst of a lot of people. So let's turn to what's going on with Stevie and Nancy and why this is a shocking turn of events and why it's all because of you and why it involves an equation or permutation which I never thought of. And let me explain what's going on. What's going on is there's 2 major reasons why this has dragged on too long. The first one is the fight for the presidency. We know that. The second one I had never thought of. It's the fight not just to take the Senate, but to hold the House. Your efforts of the Purple Power over the last 2 weeks eroded Nancy Pelosi's simple, repeated statement, her manifesto, that her caucus was aligned. You remember that sentence? She would say it all the time. And she would always say it when the Blue Dogs are talking. She would always say it when the problem solvers are talking. She says, our caucus is aligned. They never say that to me. Our caucus is aligned. Aligned means everyone agrees with each other. Aligned means there's no dissenters. Aligned means everyone's following what I'm saying. Everyone agrees with me. They weren't. And the more she continued to say that, the more the Purple Power pushed back and said, no, we're Democrats also, and we don't support you. We're also Republicans, we don't support you. But we do have Democrats in the Purple Power, and we don't support you. And we don't like what you're doing. And here's the problem solvers. They don't support you. And the problem solvers is 50 members, and they don't support you. And then there's the Blue Dogs, and they're 60 members. They don't support you. And then there's the New Democrat Coalition. That's 300 members. They don't support you. It started to erode her position. And if you saw my recording last night, and this is what's so important, you got to focus with me right here because this is probably the most important part of this recording, and it's a little complicated, is that last night I detailed for you that shocking news report that said that they're debuting the bill today, they're going to vote on today, they're going to go on the planes, they're going to leave. And that talks were done between Steve and Nancy. Well, guess what you did? You said you're done. Well, yeah, then we're done with you. Remember? And remember how If you did not watch the final video last night, Evening to LALATE, where the graphic on the screen says done, there was a reason why that graphic was so large, because I literally watched it and I thought, oh my God, you could see the fangs coming out of my teeth. I'm so angry. I had to make the graphic incredibly large. You could not see how angry I was, even though it was clearly apparent. Viewers of this channel were absolutely irate. And that message got onto social media, and she heard it. She absolutely categorically heard it. Her press secretary heard it. Drew Ham, all these people have heard that they are unhappy with the situation, that going home without a relief package is not going to inherently directly hurt the president, but will clearly hurt the people who were elected to do legislation, and that is the members of the Congress. And suddenly the people who had hoped to flip the Senate from Republican to Democrat, that hope is potentially being dashed because they don't have a deal. And the people that were hoping to hold the House and actually gain seats in the House among the Democrat Party, that hope is in trouble as they don't have a deal. So what has happened? Well, here we go. A new report says that Stevie and Nancy have had a lot more chats than we even thought since last night. Since my report in which they said they're done, just see you later. Oh, we said, no, if you're done, we're done with you. After a 15-minute conversation on Tuesday, today, 15 minutes, Pelosi and Mnuchin made plans to speak again to get it done tomorrow. Pelosi told reporters today, I'm hopeful it's going to get done. Then she spoke with her leadership on Tuesday. Why? Make revisions. Change the numbers. Yeah. Her caucus will be briefed about negotiations tomorrow morning. And then a centrist Democrats are pushing to get the deal despite all efforts. Pelosi described the conversations with Mnuchin as positive. And here's an additional thing. She said to reporters, the secretary, Mnuchin, and I have had a couple of conversations this morning. A couple Tuesday. Now, the prior sentence said 15-minute conversation. She says, no, we've had several conversations this morning. We also had a conversation with the president. So hopefully we'll make some progress to the American solution of the American people. She spoke to the president? Wait, hello? Wait, did anyone hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I heard that. I heard that. Wait, who said that? Excuse me. Let me back up. That was Meadows. Let me not get too excited. So Meadows and Mnuchin had several conversations this morning to get this done, and Meadows has been briefing the president on what Pelosi said, so let me just make it clear. Pelosi did not speak to the president. Pelosi spoke to Mnuchin, and then Mnuchin spoke to Meadows, who spoke to the president. So it's like, they don't want to be in the same room. But this is incredibly great news, and that there's several conversations underway. The Republicans' counteroffer is expected to still stay at $1.5 trillion, but that the Democrats are still at 2.2. Here's an additional twist, which you'll only hear on this channel. There's a reason why this deal can be got tomorrow. I'm going to tell you why. They're 1.2 to 2.2. How far apart they are? About 200 billion. Yeah. And they have PPP in this. Okay. Yeah. So you need to spend spending about 200 billion more than you have to spend, than the Republicans want you to spend. Okay. Yeah. How do you solve that? You repurpose the money. Remember that $300 billion that the president identified that's sitting around that could be repurposed for PPP, or actually isn't PPP? Yeah. Remember the $200 billion that I identified that's sitting around that could be repurposed for other things like FPUC? There's enough money, about $500 to $600 billion, that could be repurposed to fund the things that are in the Temple of Doom's bill, so that it doesn't cost 2.2, so that it costs 2.2 minus that amount of money. 2.2 minus $500 billion, which is 1.7. Hey, yes. Thank you. This is insanely great news. Mnuchin has talked about this before, and I have alluded to it before, and a lot of times. And Kudlow, of course, talked about it last Friday. Repurposing existing money for purposes of a new stimulus package. You don't have to pull the money out of Treasury. You just repurpose it. Hence, the bill is not really 2.2. It's actually costing a lot less because the money is already sitting around unused for the first stimulus package. Oh my God. Let me turn to Colleen Cook, who's a longtime viewer of this channel, does a lot of wonderful things for people on this channel. This is her comment from last night's video, on this video. I cried myself to sleep last night. I felt like I had been slapped in the face by that bill. So callous disregard for the American people. Even today, I'm having trouble comprehending the utter ridiculous things she wrote. My heart is breaking for so many people that desperately need help. For the first time in my 51 years, I'm ashamed of my country. I feel like it's perfectly fine to treat people like this. I'm going to take a mental health day and help my son annihilate me on a video game. This always makes me happy. I love this family very much, and I really enjoyed the fight. Just have to get myself right in the head. Don't need 50 knocking on my door for threats. Really incredible, thoughtful comments. The great news was you all left incredible messages of hope last night, and I really appreciate it. You said we're not going to focus on negativity. We're going to focus on us. And guess what? You're pushing the problem solvers with this hand over here for, a week. Remember, the hand's always over here, and the Temple Doom's hand's over here. Yeah, it's sort of like the UI hand's over here and the PUA's hand over. I've been saying, push with the problem solvers, push with the Blue Dogs, push with the Democratic coalition. Tell them we're not going to agree to 2.4. Well, she didn't come in at 2.4. She came in at 2.2. Tell them we're not going to agree to 2.2. We're not going to agree to a partisan bill that's just written and doesn't do anything. We're tired of people writing bills and not passing laws. We need stimulus checks. It's working. Let me get to some of your 2,500 comments from yesterday. We went from 1,200 comments, 3 days ago, to now 2,500 comments? Insane. Lisa, Nancy needs a nursing home. She's lost her mind. Jamie, can't fix the stupid. That's what Nancy seems like. Tina Hunter, they need to get rid of Nancy because she's trying to hold everything up. Melanie Stone, Nancy Pelosi just stringing everyone along. Lynn Houston, why is the White House playing along with this? They're both playing a game for their own jobs. That's basically what it is. President wants to keep his job, and the people in Congress want to keep their job and want to have more people in their party get new jobs. So it's a big, whose job can we save faster? Certainly they don't care about us. Lynn Houston, why is the White House doing this? Carolyn Mano, elections are coming up. Vote anyone out. Shauna Moreau, it's all something. This is very crazy. Aaron, it just seems like they're trying to take money out of our pocket because they're doing everything else not to give it to us. Rebecca Myers, and Pelosi will never change. She's not going to make a deal. She'll run out of the clock. Not if you believe the scenario that I started with. If she's worried she's going to lose the House, she's not going to pick up new seats for Democrats in the House, which was what her goal was, and she's not going to take the Senate because the Republicans did much of as bad a job as she did. Neither side got anything done. Then maybe she will do the deal. Remember, doing the deal makes her party look good and makes Mitch's side look like a bunch of asses. So that's clearly the focus she's doing, is trying to say, hey, I got you a deal, they didn't, let's get it done. Deborah, I think Nancy's off her bipolar meds. Tamara Co. Why isn't the president doing anything with stimulus? I want to hear from him. Well, tune in this broadcast after this goes to FPUC, PUA, and then the election. I'm doing another debate coverage tonight in the spot where Rent usually is, and I will be going over that detail as well. Jenny, if Nancy pulls something out, please help her. It's Bjorn, shocking bombshell. Nancy could care less. Paul, the American people need help. Mandy, the only thing election I want to hear is the purple power tell Nancy no stimulus, no seats. Well, we've said it very clearly, and apparently it's working, but we're not done. Andy, is there any end to this woman's antics? Cynthia, a perfect, I'm not going to read that on camera, to Nancy, is from Trump to send us all $2,000 before the election. Joseph, why do you... M. Barden, Make America Great, get Nancy out of Congress. Shelley, we need someone to be committed to the nut house. Okay. Cooking with V, we're not getting that check. It means we're going to be shut down. I feel like Nancy is the laughing stock of the Congress, because Carla Lee. Boy, this is a great day to be part of this community because we really are doing inroads. I've told you since Friday that the push from Friday till October 1st is going to be the biggest important push of this period. So go to the Fronts channel and subscribe. This is the greatest community on social media, the fastest growing channel. 275,000 followers. We're trying to get to 280. We're doing a really great job. Let's do it. So subscribe. Please subscribe. Be on social media, push for the problem solvers, push behind the blue dogs. Tell people they don't give you stimulus, they're gone. Also tune in for the next video because I'm going to be continuing coverage of what's going on. Also like this video because boy, who takes it left and right and up and down and all the way around for you. I really appreciate your patience. This is an incredible family and we're going to get through it together. Coming up next is hazard pay, but in that video I'm going to go more over what's happening with this bill and how the changes could unfold very quickly. That's going to be an incredible video to watch. Next, FPUC. And then finally, the election debate coverage in the rent spot. I'll be going over what that might involve and whether there'll be an executive order announced in that debate. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.